You don't have a confidence problem, you have a language problem. Let me explain to you why. Poetry has to be the best instructor, best social dynamics coach. Poetry has to be one of the best mentors which you can have ever. And you don't even have to pay for it. All you have to do is just give your time and energy and understanding. Poetry has to be one of the best things that has ever happened to humanity, basically. Now, when I speak of confidence, when I speak of self-esteem, the only possible way, from my understanding, to raise your confidence and your self-esteem is to express yourself in the way that your soul really requires. So every single person, they go through a phase where they realize that they need some time for self-reflection. They need some time to actually, understand where they're lacking, understand where they're falling behind. They have the skill sets, they have everything which they need. The only thing is they're not able to express, they're not able to put it out there. Poetry is the only, I would say the black magic, basically, the spell, which helps you put yourself out. Now, some people might find this not interesting, some people might find it interesting, but I have never taken any communication classes, never went to any coaching schools for English language, even though it's not my first language. I come from a stupid slum from Mumbai, right? Where all we used to do was speak in the slang of Hindi, which we used to communicate with like other people. And I come from a Urdu medium school, basically. I studied Urdu more than English, right? Now, what it helped me with, the language Urdu helped me with understanding of Arabic and Farsi, right? The second thing is you need to have enthusiasm also. I had like a ton of friends over there who don't even know one word of Arabic or Farsi. I took enthusiasm out and then I gave my time, and I was never really shy of making mistakes. If I speak in Arabic, I speak in Farsi. I don't speak complete Farsi. I understand 80% of it, and I can communicate. I can basically communicate much better. What it helped me with is I'm thinking in multiple languages now, right? I have a fusion of these languages combined together, and whenever I'm speaking, I have metaphorical speech. I have structured sentences. I use juxtaposition, similes, and everything in combination of what I'm trying to explain, right? And the other person who's listening to me, he knows what he has to listen. And like, I speak of the same thing which he particularly wants. And you can do the same way, right? Poetry helps you with what? It helps you come out of your own comfort zone. It helps you come out of your shell. It helps you to get that interview done. It helps you to impress that girl you want to impress. It helps you to express yourself in a much channeled manner, right? And you don't have to use fillers. You don't see fillers. Once you basically move forward, like graduate from reading to writing poetry, believe me when I'm telling you, it just opens up another world to you, because now you're using the full capacity of your brain. You're trying to convey 1,000 thoughts. They may be wicked thoughts. They may be holy, virtuous thoughts. It can be dark. It can be bright. It can be night. It can be day, anything. But when you start writing it, you realize that you're using your full potential to actually channel those 1,000 thoughts into a fucking line or a quatrain or a ghazal, which we say, right? Now, how it helps you build your confidence. The only reason why men or women or anyone lack self-esteem or self-confidence is they're not able to express what they are thinking. They have a very thick filter in their head. On the other hand, maybe I have a leak over here. Whatever comes to my mind just drops to my tongue and I'm shooting, not literal shooting, vocabulary-wise shooting. So yeah, number one thing, it builds your vocabulary very well. Believe me, you'll use words which are out of this world. You'll start reading and writing, and then sooner or later you'll realize, maybe after 1 month or 2 months, you'll realize that your words are just flowing. You don't have to put effort into it, and your language becomes clean and clear. How is it possible? It's only possible if you actually try. And until you're not afraid of failure, you're not scared of what people will think of you, you're golden, man. You're golden, believe me. You'll be able to go to any place, speak up. You'll be able to listen to anyone and then have something to respond to, right? It all comes back to how much enthusiasm you have towards improving yourself. And I'm not talking about self-improvement like the whole idea of self-improvement is in the market. No. I'm talking about creative self-improvement. You use poetry in order for yourself to be channeled in whatever your day-to-day life is. Okay? Now, number two is it gives you precision. It gives you, efficiency, eloquence instead of just rambling. So you're crisp, you're on point with what you're trying to explain. Reading poetry, especially when you read and then you try to understand and write again, right? So you don't use big words like, and there is a difference between expressions as well. Instead of saying, I feel sad or I'm disappointed, you say, I feel empty. See, there is a difference in expression. So you become a different person. When you start using these things, you start structuring sentences and you know when to use your pauses while in live speech. Oh my goodness, it's the best intoxicant, best wine ever present. And what actually it does is actually improves your emotional intelligence. Emotional intelligence is you require it while you're connecting with people in a social situation. For example, you're standing with a bunch of people. Emotional intelligence is something which will help you sympathize, empathize, as well as place your opinion in such a way that it sees the personality of the other person, right? And then the other person, if you're ready, or if the other person is ready to take your opinion or no, is the other person even the other person holds the depth of understanding of what you're trying to say or no. So it's like you're a butterfly, but you don't want to present yourself in front of someone who's colorblind. It doesn't make sense for the butterfly, right? So that's emotional intelligence. It builds up slowly and gradually. And that has helped me out as well by reading books also, and especially that book, the How to Influence and Influence People. That's what it's called, by Dale Carnegie. It's an old book. I know everyone knows it. And the first chapter is, I guess, to be interesting, you have to be interested. But how can you be interested, basically? What makes you interested? You ask the right questions and you stop at the right time. You let mystery play its part, all right? But from my understanding, self-improvement is where you have to hide what you really want to express. Poetry is where you just express what you want to express, right? Now, the filters are creative filters, basically. They're not social norms. The filters are creative filters. How quickly you want to express, or like how laid back you want to be, depending upon the other person, right? So, of course, it comes to like asking or knowing the right things also. If you do not know something, poetry and being a poet in and itself, it's going to make you explain or express the fact that you don't know about this topic, so I don't want to speak about it. I don't know, just you tell me. So I'll listen. The more you listen, the more the other person opens up, the more the other person starts trusting you, because the other person will start confiding in you. It doesn't matter if he's a CEO, doesn't matter if he's your high school crush, doesn't matter if it's your father, doesn't matter if anyone, right? No matter what. The more you listen to the other person, the more you realize that the other person will be confiding in you, trusting you with his words. Because your brain, your ears are a treasury. Like basically, he's putting his, whatever is inside, he's putting it inside you, putting it out and giving it to you so that he knows that you're going to keep it safe, basically. Now, how it helps you build your structure of sentences, right? It gives you rhythms. It gives you this flow. It gives you this eloquence. Every single holy book also, they have this flow, they have this eloquence about themselves, which actually attracts a human mind. It actually, all the hymns which you read, all the ayat of the Quran, or anything which you take up, which actually attracts you and keeps you going, is the rhythm and the pauses in between. It's actually the rhythm. The words should bounce off of your lips. So I wrote one poetry. One of the lines of this poetry was, to dive in the flood and not look for the shore, to live and make love and die begging for more. See how poetry is like dancing, but with language. That's it, right? So it helps you structure your sentences, and it helps you actually understand when to stop talking. I know I'm not going to stop talking as of now, but it helps you understand when to stop talking. You believe me, you don't need to go to any other social dynamic coach or to go to someone else who himself is with self-esteem, who himself is struggling with confidence, and then you learn confidence from him. It doesn't make sense. Read and start writing. Leave me. And then it's going to help you with metaphorical thinking. Metaphorical thinking is something which connects the metaphysical to the conversation, right? Why? Because now you're going to start structuring your way to people's hearts, not their minds. You're going to structure your way, you're going to find your way towards people's emotional attachment towards you, basically, to their hearts. You're going to tap it once and then just refrain. What this does is, this hit and run, what it does is it builds up more thirst for the other person to keep listening to you. What this person is going to bring next now? What is he going to speak about now? Is he going to speak about me because he speaks in such a good manner? Is he going to express something about me? Is he going to admire me? Is he going to contemplate something which I used to do? Is he going to notice something about me? This and that. So this other person is having these curiosities built up while you're just emotionally tapping and then running away, right? This is metaphorical thinking. Why? You're connecting something to something which needs connection. Now in this world and age, we are literally, I used to say that the corporate world fucked the poet out of me. You're waking up, running the rat race, you're pleasing your boss, you're working your way through, you're pleasing your clients. There is no space for creative thinking, no space whatsoever. And then your soul, it just gets tired. Eventually it's just, yeah, I'm done. That's why you need a break. That's why there is a Sunday or a Saturday. Why you need creative reinforcement. That's what it is, basically. For me, it is. That's what it is. Entertainment, dopamine hits, running off, spike of your endorphins and everything. If you boil it down back to, if you actually trace it back to its origin, it comes to poetry. That's my expression. It can be art for you. It can be cooking for you. It can be anything. Every single thing goes back to poetry. That's what I want to say. And of course, it gives you confidence in the expression. Right now, I'm expressing myself. And the last thing in my head is what you're going to think about this. That's the last thing. I like it because this has given me reasoning. This has given me meaning, right? If you ever read a Persian poetry, I swear there is nothing much better than that. Nothing. For that, you have to learn the Persian language. You read Hafiz, Rumi, Sadi, Firdausi, or of course, English poetry also. Lord Byron. You read Homer, you read all these people, Alan Edgar Poe, Charles Bukowski. You read and then you understand that these people, they're doing something, they're touching you, basically, where you need to be touched. And they're just running away, they're refraining, right? So you need to build these things. You need to give yourself time and energy. Now, what I want you to do after watching this video is basically, in the comment section, write down a expression of yourself, right? Which you really wanted to put it out for the world to read. Basically, this channel is very small. It'll be really helpful if you guys subscribe to it so that I can bring in more content, valuable content about poetry, languages, cultures, learning, building your self-esteem, and everything. All right. Until next time, guys, see you in my next video.